Welcome to my channel. This video is focused on simplifying expressions with rational exponents. Now we are going to learn first about radical expressions because we can use this in simplifying expressions with rational exponent. So here I have the nth root of a. That is what we call the radical sign. This is the index and that's the radicand inside the radical sign. Now, if we're going to get the nth root, we are just going to get the principal nth root. It means the positive root. So, if I have here the square root of 4, that is equal to 2. And the cube root of 8, that is equal to 2. And we have here the fourth root of 81, that is equal to 3. So, what does it mean? It means that what number raised to 2 is equal to 4? And that number is 2. What number raised to 3 that is equal to 8? And that is 2. What number raised to the fourth power is equal to 81? And that is 3. That's the question on how, or the thought process on how you get the square root or the nth root. So now I'm just gonna put the definition or the form here, how we're going to convert. Now, look at this one. M over n is the exponent, which means the m can be written here as the exponent of the radicand, or you can write it here. It means you are going to perform the nth root first before raising to a power. So, let's simplify this expression. So, x raised to 1/2 means the index is 2 and the exponent of x is 1. And that is now the square root of x. So the step is to convert to radical expressions. Then rewrite the radicand in exponential form. Then apply the nth rule to simplify. But this one is already in simplest form. Now look at this one. 8 raised to 1/3, it means the n here is 3, the index. So that is now the cube root of 8. And the exponent of 8 is just 1 from the numerator. Now, second step is to rewrite the radicand in exponential form. So 8 is equal to 2 raised to 3, right? Okay, so now that is now simply finding out what is the cube root of 8. So that is 2 raised to 3, and therefore the cube root is just simply the base 2. Or you can cancel the cube here and the 3. The answer is equal to 2. Next, now I have here 16 raised to 1/4, which means that's the fourth root of 16. The index, that should be the denominator, and the exponent should be here, that is understood there is 1. Now, next step is to change to exponential form. 16, what is that number that if you're going to raise to 4, the answer is 16. So that is 2 raised to 4. Okay? Now we can cancel the fourth root here and the power. The answer now is equal to 2. Now I have 64 raised to 1/3, which means that's the cube root of 64. And then I'm going to rewrite 64 in exponential form. What number that if I'm going to raise to 3, the answer is 64. And that number is what we called, or the number is 4. That's the radicand, 4 raised to the third power. And we can cancel this. The answer now is 4. So it means if we have nth root of a raised to n, so what have you noticed? The exponent n and the index here is the same. Then it is equal to a. So whatever the radicand here. Okay, so you can cancel that, and then the remaining number a here, that should be the answer. Now, let's discover more about this. So I have here negative 125 raised to 1/3, which means my radicand now is negative, and that is the cube root of negative 125. Now, the next step is to rewrite negative 25 to exponential form, and that is equal to 5, negative 5 cubed. Negative 5 times negative 5, positive 25, and positive 25 times negative 5 is negative 125. So that is the cube root of negative 5. Then I have here exponent 3. Now, in this case, I can cancel this one. What is the answer now? The remaining is negative 5. That's the cube root of negative 125. Now, what about if I have raised to 1/4, the negative number raised to 1/4? Remember, if you are multiplying negative times negative, the answer is positive. So here, negative times negative, that's 2 times. The answer is positive. Times negative, the answer is negative. But times the other negative, that's 4 times, the answer is positive. The sign is positive. So what are we going to do here? So the fourth root of negative 625, and that is equal to, raise this to the power or change to exponential form. So that is equal to the fourth root of negative 5 raised to 4. It means that the number that we are looking, what number raised to 4, the answer is negative 625. Now here, since it is fourth root, which means the answer is not negative, because if we're going to raise this to 4, it becomes positive, which is 5. Okay? Because this one will change to positive. Now, what we have learned here is that if the nth root of a raised to n is equal to a, if n is odd number. The n here, the index is odd number, so it means 3, 5, like that. But if the nth root of a raised to n, if this one is even number, therefore, we need to get the absolute value of a. Our a here is negative 5, but the exponent here is 4, or fourth root here, which means that we need to get the absolute value of a. That's why this is 5, not negative 5. Okay, that is if n is even. So now here I have 32 squared and raised to 1/2, which means I'm gonna change that to radical form. And since the exponent here is 2, and I have square root here, it means I can cancel this one. That is equal to 32. Just a, whatever the radicand a here. Now, if I have 8x raised to 1/3, so that is now cube root of 8x. The next step is to change this to exponential form. So what number raised to 3, that the answer is 8, it means 2 cube. And x, so now that's cube, so I can cancel this one. Which means that I extracted the root of the cube root of 2 raised to the 3rd power, and that is 2, so I can bring that outside the radical sign, and what is left inside is the cube root of x. So that's how you're going to simplify expressions with rational exponents. Change to radical form, then write the radicand or inside the number or the expression inside the radical sign to exponential form, and then simplify. Thank you for watching. Bye.